Ever since I was a little kid, I have always been into stop motion, especially claymation. They basically go hand to hand, basically. And the creativity behind it is just so awesome to me. Like, I love this kind of stuff. And this movie really gets to show you that it's a lot of hard work, and that work really might eat you up. Stop Motion stars Asling Francisco and is about a stop motion animator struggles to control her demons after the loss of her overbearing mother. We got an indie horror movie that a lot of you probably haven't heard of because this movie came out actually last weekend, but there was no showings last weekend. And then all of a sudden, there was a showing tonight. It wasn't too far from me. It was storming, raining. When to go see it? No one in this theater, of course, but hey, I like seeing indie horror films. Horror's my favorite genre, so I always like to see it because the trailer, I saw like 30 seconds of it. I never saw the full trailer, and I was like, this looks different and interesting. And so I walked out saying, I liked it, but I didn't love it as much as I wanted to, obviously. Like, horror movies always go in with high expectations a little bit, but I had to calm my nerves down. And again, I think this is a good movie. I think people are going to more dislike it than actually like it, which is honestly fine because this movie deals with a lot of trauma and mental illness, a lot of mental health issues that could easily be affected by your family. And this movie goes in that direction. This is stuff you've seen and heard before in many horror films, and so with this one, not majorly different, except you got a stop motion little character walking around. Beginning with the positives is Asling Francisco. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. She's the actress from The Nightingale, and she was also in The Last Voyage of Demeter. In this movie, she is fan-freaking-tastic. She plays this character to a T, and this whole time, you are completely just looking at her saying, you are just sad, and you have every right to be after what her mother just basically did to her whole life, and now she's stuck with this stop motion movie that she wants to finish, but she's changing everything all about it to basically turn into something that she wants to be creative, very original. So this movie does a lot of talking about originality, creativity, and making stuff like that, which I'm always into. And you have this little girl who's helping her, giving her this creativity that lives in this building. Then things start going to a turn that I don't really want to spoil to a third act that is hands down the reason to see. But hey, all the acting all around is very good. The direction very much knew this story. I don't recognize this director, but the director also co-wrote this movie, and it very much is a story that could feel personal. I don't know any of the background behind this movie or anything like that, but the direction just felt very point of view. This woman, her canvas, basically the stop motion set that she has, and the movie cuts back and forth between little plot lines of real life and what she's creating. And I'll say this, the stop motion stuff is freaking awesome. I mean, it's really cool stuff. It is stop motion, and whenever it's intertwined with like live action people in the same shot, it's really well done. I really got to give applause to any of the animators behind that kind of stuff. And when it comes to creepy imagery, there is definitely imagery throughout this entire movie that's very much like, ooh, and but the ending, which I don't want to spoil, gets into body horror. And if you're a fan of that, you are going to love this ending because it gets wild and it's awesome. The third act and the ending is awesome, especially the messaging that you're saying about your work and the family, and the little bit of a twist that I did definitely like had a like thought, but I never was like, I think this is this. But no, it was. And I was like, okay, I thought about it, so I didn't really call the twist. But the third act is really cool and I really enjoyed it. Besides that, though, it's 93 minutes and the pacing was very felt. And it's because it's such a dark, glimmous, just sad movie, which is nothing wrong with that. That's the story it's trying to tell. But throughout this entire movie, it's really hard to get attached to our main character and any other character in this movie, basically, because there's a lot of weird stuff going on. But the movie is just so gloomy at times that it's just really hard to balance off like dialogue between characters, a character in a situation with the stop motion going on. And when it goes into that kind of stuff, it gets very off putting, which is supposed to. And I just didn't really connect with anyone in this movie. And I felt that pacing, I felt the runtime, and it's only 93 minutes. So it's kind of crazy for a short movie. It didn't feel like a short movie. But again, I think overall, like watching this movie to get to that third act, I think it's worth it. I do think the ending is like, oh crap, and it's definitely gruesome when it needs to be, and the sound design is very, very good. But hey, it's a movie that, like, people might compare to, like, Hereditary, a very slow, depressing movie, but that movie had different aspects of characters intertwined with one story. This is one girl in an apartment, basically, with little characters around her, to an ending that's very much like, ooh. So I liked it. I'm gonna give Stop Motion a B minus. Very unique and a very indie horror film to check out this week if you can in movie theater. Support original movies is always my case, but this is a movie that's very hard to watch right now. So if you get a chance, horror fans, I would love to hear your opinion. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if you've seen it and let me know what your thoughts of the movie. Hope you guys enjoyed this movie review. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, everybody.